when is the right time students should start their application for the visa?
At least you will show 1 year of tuition fee, 1 year of living cost, 1 year your travel cost. What about the next year? There are universities taking the interviews at the GS process time.
Okay, once they have submitted the documents for the GS.
Yes, because they also want to know how much student is aware about their documentation, their sponsorship, their financials, what course they are going to study, why they are going to study this course, why they have chosen only Australia for their future studies.
For many students, studying in Australia is not just a personal dream. It's a family goal, which takes years in making. But between getting that offer letter and boarding that flight comes the most crucial step, the visas. Hello and welcome to another episode of ABC Podcast Abroad and Beyond Campus. I'm your host Suyash, and today we're decoding the Australian visa from documents and timeline to common mistake that students don't even realize they're making. And to take this conversation forward, I'm joined by Vinny Magoo, our visa expert. Hi Vinny, welcome back to another podcast.
Hi Suyash, thank you for inviting me for another podcast, and I'm glad that I'm here, that I can guide students who wants to go to Australia or planning to go to Australia ahead.
Thank you so much for all your good work. To start with, why do Australian student visas get rejected?
So the main reason for the rejections are not strong financials, their statement of purpose, not choosing the right course as per their previous education, their genuine student documents which universities also access, and then the immigration department checks. These are the small reasons why majorly the student visa get rejected, or not filing the application timely, because nowadays departments take time in analyzing the application or finalizing the visas for Australian students.
Okay, so जितना मुझे समझ में आ रहा है तो source of funds, relevancy of your previous education is one of the key factors.
Yes.
Okay, so can you jot down the key steps that there are in the Australian student visa once the student receive the offer letter from the university? उसके बाद student को क्या क्या करना चाहिए?
Okay, so Yash, I'll explain the whole process to you in steps. So the first step is getting the offer letter. Once the student gets the offer letter, they have to complete the conditions because it's a conditional offer letter.
Okay.
The second step is to submit all the financials to the university, which we call GS requirement, genuine student requirement, as given by the Department of Home Affairs. Once they get the approval of GS from the university itself, the third step is getting the unconditional offer letter, because you have met all the conditions in the second step. So once you get the unconditional offer letter, university asks you to make the payment. Once the student makes the payment, the fourth step is getting the ECOE, which we call Electronic Confirmation of Enrollment. That's an important document which is required to submit the visa application, because we cannot submit the visa application without that. And in COE, they see the course, they see the duration of the course, they see the OSHC which student has booked, and then we give the HAP ID to the student. So HAP ID states that you have to complete your medical exam, and then we submit the visa application.
Okay, and the deposit that you talked about, the payment, is it for the whole year tuition fee, or is it like they can do it in parts?
Whole year. 1 year tuition fee is better to get the visa application.
Okay, the chances of visa approval increases if you pay it.
Yes.
And when is the right time students should start their application for the visa?
At least 6 months prior.
And this is like after applying for the like application and getting the offer, 6 months before that?
From application till visa, at least 6 months prior.
6 months prior, okay.
I'll explain you the reason as well for that. Post-COVID, the departments have become very unpredictable. They can give visa in 1 day also. They can give visa in 1 week also. They can take more than 3 months also. They can give the visa in 2 months also. So we have to make sure that whatever intake the student is actually targeting, we guide the students accordingly.
And you mentioned between OHSC in between our conversation. Can you elaborate more on that so that our students can get more clarity on what it is?
Okay, so OSHC is Overseas Student Health Cover.
Okay.
It's an insurance that student has to take for the whole duration plus 3 months extra.
3 months extra, okay.
Yes.
And why is that?
Because by any chance, if you are not able to complete your whole education in the given duration, if you failed in one exam and you need some additional time to complete that, you have extra time, or you want to go for your post-study work permit, if you want to apply for your another visa, you have time between that from completing the student visa and applying for another visa.
Okay.
So
a buffer, yes, a
Yes.
buffer on this.
So department always says take 3 months extra, and they give visa also like that also.
So insurance will cover the medical and everything, but is there anything left to talk more about so that student can have much more clarity on it?
So overseas, which we talk about, overseas student health cover, it's an insurance. So before applying for the visa, students have to complete a medical test in their home country basically.
And these tests will include which different tests? Like
So-
for UK, there is TB test before that. Is it something similar for Australia as
Yes,
well?
more or less it's similar actually.
Okay.
It's chest X-ray.
Okay.
There are some TB tests also done,
Okay.
and some blood tests also get done before that, because what happens is student has to go to the panel physicians mentioned on the department's website only.
Oh, okay.
They cannot go to any doctor or anywhere
Practitioner,
else.
okay.
Yes. So they have to go to panel physician only, get the HAP ID which we create for the students. We give that
ID.
the same to them. There is a barcode mentioned on it. So when they go for the test, the doctor scan that barcode and directly send the report to the department. So that's very important step before applying for the visa.
So you mentioned about GS, the genuine student part. What is it, and why is it so crucial in this visa process?
Okay, so GS is a genuine student requirement where students have to show about their course preference for whatever course they are going. They have to show their all financials to the university as per the Department of Home Affairs. So they have given certain guidelines that you have to show your financials in this manner, where student has to show their 1 year of living cost, which is $29,710. They have to show their travel cost, which is 2,000 Australian dollar. They have to show their 1 year of tuition fee plus the family income for the another year. So basically what happens is, how Australia department works, if you're going for a 2 years course, right, you will show 1 year of tuition fee, 1 year of living cost, 1 year your travel cost. What about the next year?
Yeah.
They want to see that from where the money is coming from. For that, family income is very important. कैसे आया, फैमिली अर्न कर रही है, कहाँ से आया, उनकी इनकम से, whatever business, job the parents are doing, ठीक है. Then I have explained कहाँ से आया, कैसे आया, और अब क्या आगे कैसे आने वाला है. So all these things are important in the financial part. So GS plays the major role. Even sometimes department asks for your property documents also.
Okay.
Your land documents also. If you are applying for an education loan, they want to see on which basis you have taken an education loan.
The collateral.
Exactly.
Yes.
They see the valuation of the collateral as well. So this is how all the things are actually being catered by the university, and then we go for the visa application. And the department also checks all these things.
So what I understand is it's a process from which they realize if the student is financially sound and वो आगे का भी खर्चा और अपना कैसे manage कर लेगा, if he is prepared particularly when it comes to financials.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So we discussed कि 6 months पहले ही apply करना start कर देना चाहिए application process, and 6 months is a long time. And I'm sure whenever you're applying for study abroad, there are multiple intakes you can apply for. So that brings me to my next question. What are the intakes in Australia? And since it's a 6 month, as I said, it's a long process, which document takes the longest time?
So the major intakes are February and July.
Okay.
These are the major intakes. A lot of like good chunk students go in during this intake. They have
Irrespective of bachelor's, master's.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is a small intake in October, November, because not all universities have this intake available. Not all courses have this intake available. So the major intake is since February and July. Students have to plan accordingly. So
that would bring the 6 month application back to, I think, September, October.
Actually, not September, October as well. Prior to that, so
July.
So no.
If I want to apply for February intake, should I apply in July?
Yes. Once the students get their results in May, June, majorly the results comes out. If it's a bachelor students, they have given a 12th exams. The results generally comes in May, May and somewhere like that. So students should plan accordingly, and then they can target the February intake. So they can prepare all the documentations and everything, apply for the offer letter and go ahead, because education loan takes a lot of time when it comes to Australia, because students have to go here and there to different banks getting their interest rate information. So when student comes to Meta Apply to us, we not only guide the students but also helps the students through our Meta Finance team to get the loan. So they don't have to go to different banks, get all the quotations from different banks and then decide with which bank they should go ahead. So here when they come to MetaApply, they give them the quote in one go. You know, if you go to this bank, this will be the interest rate. If you go to this bank, this will be the interest rate. This is the centralized bank. This is the NBFC. So we guide the students accordingly so that they can get the documents on time and apply for the visa and get.
So like outsourcing your troubles to someone else because they have prior experience with dealing previous cases and वो एक ही go में सारी चीज़ों का आंसर कर देते हैं जो स्टूडेंट को पता भी नहीं हो.
Exactly.
I think that makes sense.
Exactly. So we have to make sure that the student doesn't get into any trouble. They are coming at one place at MetaApply, discussing their whole profile, getting the guidance on the documents, getting people to help them arrange all those documents, and then they can go ahead.
Makes sense because we are dealing with external parties when it comes to loans. Yeah.
And they don't have to go here and there with a lot of people and talk to them to, you know, get all the details and everything. Here one person will guide you and give you everything at one place.
Yeah.
That actually helps them to go for the hustles, for the parents, for the students, because since parents have to show the financials, they have to get the education loan for their kids, so it's easier for them as well.
Yeah, good. I remember we were talking about the steps in the Australian visa process that the student has to follow. उसमें we talked about SOP, but हमने अभी उसमें इतना ज़्यादा indulge और discuss नहीं करा है. तो I think it's very important part in a study abroad process because आपको अपना intent clear करना पड़ता है. So my question is, what are the silent mistakes that a student can make, not just in SOP, but generally throughout the visa process?
Okay, first I'll explain you the statement of purpose.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Because it's a very important document. When it comes to Australia, statement of purpose is a story of the student.
Yeah.
So they have to explain it in their own words. It's the biggest mistake I would say students do using ChatGPT, Google Gemini, plagiarism, copy paste. These are very, very big mistakes when it comes to Australia visa because they check each and every word. Every word they do check because it's your story, right? If I am a student, it's my story. You know, previously मैंने ये study किया है, अब मैं ये study करने जा रही हूँ. मैं क्यों ये study करने जा रही हूँ? Since I am putting a lot of money into it, what is the return of investment that I am going to get post completion of this course? So statement of purpose is something which explain your whole journey, your future, your past, your present.
Oh, okay. Is it like कि before getting into the interview with the university is screening कि actual बच्चा है क्या? Getting to know about him, so that whenever they land into the interview, is there an interview?
Yes, there are universities taking the interviews at the GS process time.
Okay, once they have submitted the documents for the GS.
Yes, because they also want to know how much student is aware about their documentation, their sponsorship, their financials, who is going to sponsor them, what course they are going to study, why they are going to study this course, why they have chosen only Australia for their future studies.
कितनी involvement है student की इस process में?
Exactly, involvement है, उसने कितनी research करी है, उसको university के बारे में कुछ पता भी है कि नहीं है, उसकी ranking क्या है, उसको वो वाला course जो है जिस course के लिए वो student जा रहा है वो और कहाँ पे available है, उसने यही university क्यों choose करी है. So students should be aware about it. Again, I'm telling you, it's a student story. तो जब इंटरव्यू होता है आपको आपके बारे में ज्यादा पता है जो आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो, तो स्टेटमेंट में जो लिखा होता है वही आपको इंटरव्यू में बोलना होता है
समराइज करके. ओके, और इज इट AI बेस्ड इंटरव्यू या human person will be there? Both. Okay, mix. Depends on university.
Depends on university.
Okay, so is it like the AI interview is harder than the human one? Is it something like that?
Both are equally hard. When it comes to interview is interview.
Yes.
So even if it's AI will ask questions, you have to answer. If a human is sitting in front of you, they will ask questions. So AI में बस ये होता है कि उनके questions थोड़े से set होते हैं. Human में क्या होता है? They can take out any question from anywhere. आप अगर बोलो कि मैं ये वाली यूनिवर्सिटी में जा रहा हूँ, क्यों जा रही हो यूनिवर्सिटी में, कौन सा कोर्स करने जा रहे हो, यूनिवर्सिटी का कैंपस कौन सा है, आपकी लिविंग कॉस्ट कितनी है, आपको स्पॉन्सर कौन कर रहा है, आपके पेरेंट्स की इनकम कितनी है, हाउ मच सेविंग्स डू दे हैव, एजुकेशन लोन किस बेसिस पे लिया है, दे कैन आस्क यू एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग।
सो एक एआई में आपका स्ट्रक्चर्ड कॉन्वर्सेशन ही होगा और ह्यूमन वाले में इट्स मोर ऑफ एन इम्प्रोवाइज बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट यू आंसर।
यस,
ओके, मेक सेंस।
बट इन एआई आल्सो यू हैव टू आंसर एक्यूरेटली बिकॉज वो एआई है। They are
paying much more attention.
Exactly, they're analyzing in a different way कि स्टूडेंट कैसे आंसर कर रहा है, कितने कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ आंसर कर रहा है, कहीं से पढ़ तो नहीं रहा है या रट्टा मार के तो नहीं बैठा है किसी चीज का।
Eye movement and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's more important when it comes to AI. But AI also ऐसा नहीं है कि एक लाइन में आंसर दिया। If I ask you कि अच्छा tell me about yourself, my name is this. अरे ऐसे नहीं होता है। You have to explain it properly कि my name is this. I have applied to this university. Previously I have done this education. So एक छोटा सा brief देना is very important.
Okay.
Then they can ask further questions कि क्या है, क्यों है, कैसे है, वो सारी चीजें।
Okay, since there is a lot of things that the student needs to keep in their mind, आप अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से क्या एडवाइस देना चाहोगे स्टूडेंट को कि जब भी वो वीज़ा प्रोसेस अप्लाई कर रहा है, व्हाट शुड दे कीप इन माइंड कि क्या करना चाहिए?
स्टूडेंट को फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करना होता है इन द होल प्रोसेस। दे शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट ईच एंड एवरी स्टेप, क्या हो रहा है। देयर अ प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड ऑल्सो प्लेज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल। सो अभी रिसेंटली का मैं एक एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ। व्हाट हैपेंड, वी प्रोसेस द वीजा एप्लीकेशन फॉर ऑस्ट्रेलिया। डिपार्टमेंट ने ना उसके रिवाइज फाइनेंशियल्स मांगे।
Okay, what revised financial as in?
They asked for revised bank statement, bank balance certificate.
Like a fresh one for the month या ऐसे ही कुछ अलग?
Fresh one, updated one. जैसे कि अगर हमने एक महीना पहले वीजा सबमिट किया है, एक महीने बाद उन्होंने फिर से मांग लिए। Department can ask.
Okay.
Earlier they not used to ask, now they have started asking. So they call the student directly. They don't call the agent. They call the student directly. कि आपने ये फाइनेंशियल सबमिट करें, वी नीड योर फाइनेंशियल्स अगेन। एजेंट गेट द मेल, लाइक बीइंग प्रेजेंटिंग द यूनिवर्सिटी, वी गॉट द ईमेल फ्रॉम द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ होम अफेयर्स कि ये हमारे दीज आर द अपडेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट्स विच आर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस स्टूडेंट। दे कॉल्ड द स्टूडेंट, द स्टूडेंट हैज टू बी एक्टिव ऑन दैट। इवन दे आस्क सम थिंग्स, आपने ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए अप्लाई किया है? हाँ किया। कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी में अप्लाई किया? ये वाली यूनिवर्सिटी में अप्लाई किया है। आपके फाइनेंशियल्स ये हैं, आपको कौन स्पॉन्सर कर रहा है? बहुत बेसिक से क्वेश्चंस पूछे। स्टूडेंट, थैंकफुली स्टूडेंट वाज एक्टिव, ही आंसर्ड ऑल दोज क्वेश्चंस कि हाँ मेरे पेरेंट्स कर रहे हैं, मेरे फादर का ये बिजनेस है, दिस मच फाइनेंशियल्स दे डू हैव, और वी हैव दीज मच सेविंग्स। तो उन्होंने बोला अच्छा ठीक है, आपके एजेंट को मेल कर दिया, हमें ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स रिवाइज प्रोवाइड करवा दो। स्टूडेंट सेंड द डॉक्यूमेंट्स टू अस, वी वेरीफाई ऑल दोज डॉक्यूमेंट्स, वी वेरीफाई द फाइनेंशियल्स एंड एवरीथिंग कि हाँ सब ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। देन वी सबमिटेड टू द department. We submitted it and within 1 hour we got the visa.
Oh, nice. So, because the student was active और
exactly. तो डिपार्टमेंट ने कॉल करके बोला ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे दो, इधर से हमने कॉल करके बोला फटाफट से डॉक्यूमेंट, 1 घंटे में उसने प्रिपेयर किया, हमने सबमिट किया, उन्होंने डिसीजन दे दिया। So this is the thing where students have to be active. आपको कोई भी कभी, इवन यूनिवर्सिटीज कैन कॉल एनी टाइम, समटाइम्स दे कॉल एट द टाइम ऑफ एप्लीकेशन ऑल्सो। आपकी एप्लीकेशन है, आपने अप्लाई किया है, कौन से कोर्स के लिए अप्लाई किया है, कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी में अप्लाई किया है। सो स्टूडेंट्स हैव टू बी एक्टिव फ्रॉम day 1 till they get enrolled to the university once they get their visa and fly to Australia and then settle down.
And what if in between conversation, if a university or the visa interview, they ask about your future goals after the degree, the PSW, which is the student is actually applying for because they want to work in that country eventually. So if they mention it in the SOP about their PSW ambition or their work profile or what they want to work in, does it impact the visa rejection or does it play a key role in that?
Yes. So I'll explain this. क्या होता है, ठीक है, आपके पास पार्ट टाइम वर्क राइट्स हैं, आपके पास PSW भी है, बट अगर आप उसको एम्फसाइज करोगे ना तो
मेरा यही गोल है, मुझे काम ही करना है, ऐसे टाइप।
हाँ, मतलब यू कैन नॉट से अपफ्रंट की ना कि नहीं यार मैं जाऊंगा, मैं तो पार्ट टाइम जॉब करूंगा। अरे ठीक है, तुम्हारे पास राइट्स है, तुम कर सकते हो 48 आवर्स पर फोर्टनाइट, बट डजंट मीन कि तुम उसको एम्फसाइज करो कि मैं तो जाके काम ही करूंगा।
48 hours in a week you can work.
48 hours per fortnight.
Okay, per fortnight. Okay.
They have this rule. The student can work part time 48 hours per fortnight, but you cannot emphasize on it.
कि मेरा यही focus है. But what if I as a student go and say कि for that 48 hours I'm working because मैं अपने expenses भी cover करना चाहता हूँ so that I can get some money.
You cannot say that.
Okay, I cannot.
You cannot say that. नो, बिकॉज जो हम इतने फाइनेंशियल्स दिखा रहे हैं वो इसीलिए तो देख रहे हैं
कि because you should only study rather than focusing on the work part.
What if you don't get a job?
But what about after degree? जैसे मेरी डिग्री खत्म हो गई है and I'm done with the degree, I'm doing job and I say कि नहीं मेरे को आपकी कंट्री में नौकरी करके ही अपने back to home जाना है, तो does it impact? Not talking about during the degree, after the degree.
See, again, don't emphasize it. Obviously, you have work rights. You have an option to apply for 485 temporary graduate visa. वो है आपके पास. अगर वो पूछता है आपसे, you have to answer in a diplomatic manner. कि you know, अच्छा, हाँ, I know मेरे पास work rights तो हैं, but मेरा primary goal is to study.
Okay.
But post completion of my course, if I get a job, I would like to apply for a temporary graduate visa, gain some experience before I go back to my home country. But do not emphasize on it. Because this is what they see ना when you are showing all your financials कि तुम वहाँ पर जॉब करोगे, जॉब नहीं मिलेगी तो क्या करोगे, उस पर थोड़ी ना डिपेंडेंट रह सकते हो. तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स तुमको इसीलिए तो स्पॉन्सर कर रहे हैं. Why they want to see the sponsors? ठीक है, अब आपके पास राइट्स हैं. अगर आपके पास, इसमें भी आप बहुत डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर दे सकते हो कि अच्छा मेरे पास राइट्स तो हैं बट आई लुक फोकस ऑन माई स्टडीज मोर. मेरे पास टाइम होगा तो मैं जॉब करूंगा या करूंगी, rather than just saying कि हाँ मेरे पास राइट्स है तो मैं उसको फुल्ली यूटिलाइज करूंगी.
So you have to be education and degree oriented कि मैं उस कंट्री में आके एजुकेशन में फोकस्ड हूँ rather than the PSW or the job market.
So this is the reason why they see the return of investment और your career goals की ठीक है आपका डिग्री कंप्लीट हो गया है, राइट, आपको प्रूफ तो यही करना होता है ना कि आप अपने होम कंट्री वापस जाओगे.
And you're just applying for the education system.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Different education system. Yeah. Learning with different students. I get
exactly.
it. Yeah.
So being in a developed country, you want to get more practical knowledge. क्योंकि इंडिया में भी नो कि theoretical थोड़ा ज़्यादा चलता है comparatively. But अगर आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया जा रहे हो to get more practical knowledge, तो आप ये बोल सकते हो कि ठीक है, I know I have rights. स्टूडेंट शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट इट कि हाँ मेरे पास वर्क राइट्स भी हैं, मेरे पास पोस्ट स्टडी वर्क परमिट का ऑप्शन भी है, बट डू नॉट एम्फसाइज ऑन इट. से कि हाँ अगर मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है तो मैं एक्सपीरियंस गेन करना चाहूंगी या चाहूंगी, बट अगर नहीं मिलती है तो मैं, मेरा प्राइमरी फोकस इज that I should come back to my home country and start my work.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is what you explained in the SOP as well, your career goals.
Career goals, yes. We have covered most of the points that are there in the app. I think if I have to recall कुछ मैं miss कर रहा हूँ तो I think वो language proficiency के exams जितने भी होते हैं, तो what are the eligible tests that the student has to have, like IELTS, PT? Is there list कि कौन से accepted हैं? कुछ अलग है ऐसा?
In Australia, IELTS, PT and TOEFL, IBT is acceptable.
For exams.
For
Okay.
exams. Only these three are acceptable. Duolingo is not acceptable.
Duolingo is not acceptable.
Medium of instruction not acceptable.
What about home-based PT?
No, not acceptable.
Anything home-based not?
No.
It has to be in a center. Okay.
It has to be in a center. IELTS, your speaking test when it comes to that also focuses on a lot. So again at MetaApply we have our own in-house trainers who guides the students for the IELTS, PT or TOEFL, and student gets good results, touch wood. So we guide the students, you know, because okay, I'll tell you one thing, because IELTS, PT, TOEFL are the exams which are very expensive. Like it costs around 15,000. So we always guide students कि आप पहले प्रिपरेशन करो, एग्जाम दो, उसके बाद डोंट वेस्ट मनी जस्ट लाइक दैट, बिकॉज पेरेंट्स का भी हार्ड अर्न मनी है. सो वी हैव आवर इन हाउस ट्रेनर्स कि हम स्टूडेंट्स को बोलते हैं कि आप बैठो, सीखो, लर्न करो, कुछ आई वुड से टेस्ट्स दो, देन यू गो फॉर द मेन एग्जाम.
क्योंकि आपकी एप्लीकेशन से पहले का मेन गेट यही है एग्जाम. वंस यू आर डन विद इट देन यू कैन अप्लाई फॉर द एप्लीकेशन एंड दैट डिसाइड्स कि आप इस यूनिवर्सिटी में अप्लाई कर सकते हो नहीं.
Yes.
So rather than just going for the exam, you should prepare for it first, then go for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think our discussion was pretty in depth about student को क्या क्या करना चाहिए. तो there is a segment called as rapid fire segment. It's a very popular segment and we do it with our guest as well. So we'll ask you some question and one word answer only. So my first question is, what's the most common mistake?
Unclear financials.
Okay. And the most important documents?
GS documents.
GS document. Best time to start the visa prep?
At least 6 months.
Biggest stress point for students?
arranging financials and getting the education loan.
Very true. One sentence of advice for Australian bound students.
Make sure your financials are clear. You are clear about your goal. You are clear about your career, and you should be aware about each and everything.
Great. Thank you so much, Vinny. It was a lovely conversation, and I think our students got much more clarity on how the Australian visa works.
I am glad that I was part of this podcast.
Studying in Australia is a life-changing dream, not just for the student, but for the families who support them. So, if studying in Australia is your dream, don't let confusion, small mistakes, and document checklist impact your future. Connect with MetaApply, get the right confidence, clarity in your Australian visa application. Thank you so much for joining in on this conversation. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any question, let us know down below in the comment section. Until then, stay confident, stay curious.